Inside the Deck is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, sellers of Magic the Gathering and many other card and board games. GatheringMagic.com, #1 resource on Magic the Gathering, strategy, and culture.
Legacy right now is overrun by creature decks, and by that I mean Stoneforge Mystic and True Name Nemesis. There's a card called Pernicious Deed, probably aware of that. There's one card type that doesn't destroy, and it's Planeswalkers. So I wanted a way to kill True Name Nemesis, Stoneforge, Deathrise, all those guys, but leave my side intact, break the symmetry of it. So I wanted to play the Planeswalkers, but they're kind of slow, so I wanted to accelerate into them. Also, something else people aren't playing Legacy are basic lands. Some decks don't even run any lands. So a card called Veteran Explorer, I'm playing that guy to try to break symmetry in another way to ramp out my basic lands and then out into my Planeswalkers. I'm David McDarby, and this is a deck I like to call Veteran Walkers. The goal of the deck is to accelerate into hard-to-kill threats, like Planeswalkers. A lot of old cards don't interact with them that well, so you can get them out early and start, reaping the benefits of the card advantage. And the way to do that is the card Veteran Explorer. If it dies somehow, whatever way, it's 1/1 for green, you get to put 2 basic lands from your library into play untapped. Both players do that, but most players don't run basic lands Legacy, so oftentimes it's one-sided. And using that, I can accelerate the Planeswalkers, which are, the main two are Jason and Liliana. We all know how powerful Jason and Liliana are. They're good against everything. Also, I wanted some really big threats. So I've got 1 copy of Karn Liberated and 1 copy of Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. These guys handle every single permanent you'd ever want in the game, and they give you something to draw to later in the game when you've got lands and brainstorms and maybe I hit a 7 or 8 drop and kill people. But you gotta kill Veteran Explorers somehow. So the ways I've gotta do that are Innocent Blood. Innocent Blood is the best 1-mana black removal spell in the format. Innocent Blood does the double job of killing their creatures, killing my Veteran Explorer, and also making them sacrifice their True Name Nemesis if they have one in play. The other way to kill it is Cabal Therapy. So I can Cabal Therapy, flash it back, sack my Explorer. And if you're playing Cabal Therapy in your deck, you won't be playing Taxing Probe. It just smooths your deck together, and if you have a 2-card combo of Probe and Therapy, you get some sweet cards with that. So that's the way I had to kill Veteran Explorer. And also, I wanted a way to not die to other creature decks. More removal generally is what I wanted. So I was playing Punishing Fire combo with Grove of the Burn Willows. I want green, I want some red because of Nicol Bolas. That's kind of a bad excuse, but I just want to cast Nicol Bolas, really, let's be real. So I have Grove of the Burn Willows to eventually kill them, but it's also a good way to handle Planeswalkers, because I'm not going to name Planeswalkers a lot. I have no real removal for Planeswalkers. Like I said, Pernicious Deed can't blow them up. So if I've got Punishing Fire, Grove of the Burn Willows, it's able to deal damage to the Planeswalkers and kill them and keep them off the board. But Pernicious Deed is like kind of the thing the deck all ties together. There's Playing Deed. Playing Deed wrecks so many decks, like any big creature like Merfolk, even like Belcher or Storm, sometimes they have Goblins, it kills all them. It kills any permanent, pretty much except for Planeswalkers. So that's how I wanted the deck to be, was Planeswalkers and Pernicious Deed. The mana base is very tricky in this deck. I want basics to fetch with Veteran Explorer, but I also want dual lands to cast my spells, in addition to having 4 Grove of the Burn Willows. So your basic lands, you need 2 islands and 2 swamps, then one of your other basics, you need 1 forest and 1 mountain, because Wasteland is a thing. I have lots of non-basics, but I also have lots of basics. So I need those 6 basic lands, mountain, forest, 2 swamps, 2 islands. I need 4 Grove of the Burn Willows, and I also need enough dual lands and fetch lands to make everything work right. So 3 Underground Seas, 1 Badlands, 1 Bayou, and that's all the dual lands that I have. And then fetch lands to round it out. Because I'm playing Brainstorm, and Brainstorm is only good if fetch lands are in the format. Try playing Brainstorm without fetch lands. It's not that impressive. In my sideboard, I have 3 copies of Thoughtseize. That's against combo decks, my weakest matchup. To complement the Thoughtseize against combo decks, I have 2 Red Elemental Blasts. Those are against any blue deck, pretty much. Also, I have 2 Swan Songs. They are similar to Red Elemental Blast, except they can counter red spells and enchantments such as Sneak Attack, Dream Halls, Omniscience. For Graveyard Hate, I have 2 Surgical Extractions. They can't see coming, you can cast whenever you want, and you get to see their deck. Also, I am playing Veteran Explorer, so I have a lot of mana. So I have 2 copies of Slaughter Games. This is a card that is like Surgical Extraction, except you get the ones out of their hand. They cannot counterspell it. They also won't see it coming, and they're having Snaring Bridge, 2 copies of that. This is against pretty much the Sneak and Show. I can board it in against True Name Nemesis decks and other large creature decks so I can protect my Planeswalkers, because that's how I win with Planeswalkers. I don't need to attack that often. So I can have a Snaring Bridge to bring in against those. I also have 1 copy of Golgari Charm. This is kind of a head draw against other enchantments. It also can kill all the goblins from Empty the Warrens, so it's good against those. I also have 1 copy of Notion Thief. It's 4 mana, which is a lot in Legacy, but I have it, like I said, I have Veteran Explorer, so I can kind of play with these expensive cards. If they cast Brainstorm and you cast Notion Thief, the game's pretty much over right then and there. It's really to shore up all my combo matchups is why I have these 15 sideboard cards. My best matchup are creature decks, Pernicious Deed is very good against Merfolk, or it just, they impede their hand, it kills everything. Just gotta watch out for Stifle. I'm also very good against decks with lots of non-basics or 0 basic lands, because I can abuse the Veteran Explorer to get 2 lands into play, get 2 Explorers into play, and just cast my more powerful spells. Bad matchups are combo decks, since I have a deck full of Innocent Bloods, Punishing Fires, Pernicious Deeds. All these spells, combo deck doesn't have a lot of creatures, so that is my bad matchup for sure. I try to shore that up in the sideboard with boarding in 13 to 15 cards. This deck is not an entry-level deck to Legacy, I'd say. It's very complicated, but if you want to play Legacy and you like Planeswalkers, then this deck will be a fun deck to play. But this is a very sweet, very fun deck to play, which is why I want to play it. And honestly, a lot of decks aren't playing basic lands, a lot of decks are playing Trio Nemesis, and this deck is very well suited against those decks. I like casting Jason Mind Sculptor, Karn Liberated, Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, and Liliana the Veil. That kind of magic is fun for me, I enjoy having it, and I just love casting those cards. And just playing Legacy, figuring out magic, trying to become a better player, even if I don't win all the time, which I definitely don't.